So now let's talk about rate expressions, and then we're going to talk about rate laws. So same equation. Again, you can monitor how much your reactants are disappearing. You can monitor the amounts of your products being formed, and you can express this in the following way. So we could say that the rate is going to be equal to the decrease in one of the reactants, so minus D times the concentration of NO2 over dt. We could also express it in terms of the second reactant, so minus D times change in the concentration of the other reactant over time. Or we can express this in terms of the products being formed. So here there's no negative sign. So we have D concentration of NO over dt, or our last product, D times the concentration of CO2 dt. So this would be a rate expression, and these would all be equal to each other if we make the following assumption. We're going to make the assumption here that there is no intermediate species that's being formed, or that if there are intermediate species, that their change in concentration is independent of time. So if there was some other really complicated thing going on here, then those rates may not be equal. We might have something else in the mechanism that would cause one thing to disappear a lot faster than something else is being formed. But these should all be equal if you assume no intermediate species or make assumptions about those intermediate species. So then the general expression for a rate expression, if we have an equation A plus B going to C plus D, where we have coefficients of the reaction small a, coefficient small b, coefficient small c, and coefficient small d. So we could express the overall rate then minus 1 over a times dATT minus 1 over b dB dt, 1 over c dC dt, 1 over d dt. That was not easy. All right. So that's the general form for the rate expression. So just to make sure that everyone's on the same page, why don't you do a rate expression for me for this one? Okay, just 10 more seconds. Excellent. So you just have to pay attention to your minus signs, your stoichiometry,